Welcome to BIA, Canada's top black media provider. Whether you're looking for shows on fashion, art, music, or simple lifestyle, we bring you the best content the black community in Canada has to offer and so much more. And better yet, do you have an idea for a project you'd like us to help you with? We provide equipment, studio, and office space, as well as a team of dedicated individuals to help you bring those ideas to life. So don't wait. Check out our new website at biamedia.ca for more information on how to contact us and start creating today. BIA Media, your way.
Hello, and welcome to Getting Real with Paula. My name is Paula Alphonse, and tonight I am speaking to LaRonz Murray about merging business and creativity. LaRonz is a multidisciplinary creative as well as a supermodel who has appeared on multiple magazines such as Vibe, Essence, Jalouse, Black Book, and others. As a creative artist, he has worked with A-listers and cultural icons, including legendary street photographer Jamel Shabazz. However, despite his artistic success, he was living the starving artist syndrome. Oh, yeah. And all that due to his lack of business acumen. But all that is in the past now. Nowadays, as a business creative mentor, LaRonz helps creatives as well as artistic entrepreneurs turn their love for art into a predictable and profitable business. That's what we want to see. You create, you make beautiful art, and we can see results not only on the walls, but also in the bank account. So let's bring our guest on.
Hello.
Good evening, LaRonz, and welcome to Getting Real with Paula.
Thank you so much. Such a privilege to be here. I'm so excited to be on your program. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. So I will start with the first question, which is, if you had to introduce yourself using 5 words, what would those words be? And why did you pick them?
Okay. Got to pick 5 words. Let me see.
5 words.
5 words. Okay. One word would be creative. And the reason why I say creative, because no matter what I'm doing, I'm able to be creative, just to kind of go inside my mind and just be creative. It can be artistically, it can be painting, it can be singing, it can be modeling, it can be poetry. So any type of avenues as far as creativity, just make it very powerful. Another word would be stick to itness, where it's like having a goal and really sticking to it to make it come to pass, no matter what the obstacles are. So I went from suffering from the starving artist syndrome to actually become a creative mentor that's teaching creatives how to produce a profitable business. So just stick to itness. Also visionary, definitely visionary, because being a visionary is just seeing things in the future. So one thing that I did is, like, when I became more business minded, I had a North Star goal, which is creating a slew of namesake galleries and museums that's going to be globally right there. So having the vision and then going back with reverse engineering. So visionary is another thing right there. The other thing is just being being courageous to be myself, to be able to do whatever I need to do and not be afraid to be original or whatever that may be right there, just being myself right there. And then the fifth word would be legacy. And the reason I say
Ah,
legacy is because I want to create a legacy for my family. I want to create a legacy for my kids to be able to see, and create a legacy for a pathway for artists to have an artistic pathway to achieve the results. Because with myself, it's not about myself. Because once you get past yourself and remove yourself, you see the bigger vision. And it's like, what footprint I'm going to leave on this world that I can leave when I leave. And when I leave the world right here, I want to leave that legacy print that can last forever. Those are my five words.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Very descriptive.
Yeah,
I like.
absolutely.
Can you share with us some of your artistic journey so far and what led you to that shift into more of a business-like approach?
Okay, it's a very interesting question. Basically, what it is, I started off as a singer first, and then to improve upon my singing and to be original, I started writing songs. And then from songs, it was suggested. So funny, it was suggested by a friend of mine. So you should try, songwriting, which became poetry. And then from the poetry, so I just kind of progressed from one step to the next as far as packing on the artistic disciplines. And then as I became more artistic, and then I always had entrepreneurial spirit within myself. I've been doing that for years, being an entrepreneur. But once I got into the music industry and just got into even the model industry and everything like that, I decided to be more creative and be more creative with the business. So I created a mobile gallery. So during the time period, I had my streams of making money, but the thing about it was inconsistent, and it got to the point it became so inconsistent that that's when that syndrome kind of came in, because I realized that the present system that I had was not working and it had expired. So either I was going to be expired as a creative, or I was going to reinvent myself to find the solution to the problem that I was having, and that was creating a system that could be more predictable. Because once you have a kid, it's like now things become very, very real. And when I had my kid, I actually began to paint. And when I started painting, and I was so enthused about painting and about really exploring my creativity, that I know I needed the other thing. So the other thing was become a business minded. So at that point in time, I got so frustrated that after I really suffered that starving artist syndrome, then at that point in time, I found a business mentor, and the whole thing, I came with an open mind, understanding that I needed a system that would work. And when I found my business mentor, the very first thing my business mentor told me, say, you know what? You actually have two minds. You have your creative mind, and you also have your business mind. Now, I always knew that, but I didn't know that it should have been separated. So therefore you can operate in each entity, but bring them all together simultaneously. So once I learned that right there, it was a light bulb moment that really forever changed my life. And then I figured out, once I find a solution to myself, then that solution can be for a lot of other creators. And I don't want creators to go through that pain and agony that sometimes we go through, or not feeling accepted, or not being able to flourish in our creativity. So that's why I came to that business decision to start coaching and mentoring creatives.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm thinking I want to hear a little more about the vision behind the legacy.
Yes.
And I know you said it was important for you, and for your family, but give me more details.
Yes.
What is it, and why is it?
Yes. Well, the first thing is that the reason why is that I call it the creative pathway. It's like a live funnel. And sometimes in business, you can have a funnel system. You take a customer through the funnel system until you eventually get the sale right there. But what I want to do, I want to create a lifetime system. And my knowledge had gave me, say, you know what? I need to start off with people that's younger. So I want to start off with our youth. So my program basically will start from the youth, say middle school, going all the way up to an established artist. So therefore, the path begins with, say, high school students right there, or middle school students. So therefore, I have a program called Smashing the Starving Artist Syndrome. And our first part of the package, what I call like my high school package, really gives the creative the beginning foundation of acquiring the business tools to be able to start looking at themselves as a business. Because once they start looking at themselves as a business, then they go to the next level. My next level will be it might be for like an older artist, something like that. And I call that Business Creators University, which is BCU. That's my creative online university, created for creatives by a creative. And that right there is a whole business course. It's called Business Creative Master Course that teaches creators a whole system. It's basically 10 weeks. You go through a whole system. And our system is a program we're having there called the methodology of the 3D system. And basically with that system, the very first thing that I learned from a mentor is the first D, and that is distinguish between your creative and your business mind. Once you make that distinguishment between your creative and business mind, a lot of times our creative mind is so far ahead of our business mind that it simply needs to catch up. So it's like a muscle that you need to work on it right there. So I have a whole program that really breaks that down. The second D, which is very important, this what comes with the vision, is deciding or determining the type of lifestyle that you want to live. Once you determine your lifestyle, or say your North Star goal, or what you really want to accomplish, therefore with that right there, you say, you know what, you can reverse engineer. So if you say, you know what, I want to have a sort of nonprofit museum. So therefore, if you know what you want to have, you just reverse engineer all the way back to the beginning. So therefore now you can break down those goals into like a yearly goal, a monthly goal, a quarterly goal, a weekly goal. So therefore you can know exactly what you're doing going towards that actual North Star goal that you want to have right there. And then the last D is called deployment, which is deploying the actual tactics every day to make your vision come to life. So therefore, if you're on a mission every day to do exactly what you want to do, your mission will come to life. So within that program right there, then you go to the business fund and everything like that. But the whole purpose is to really get that person to understand their vision and then start equating to be business minded and also use OPM, other people's money. Then the next step is that as I build out my system, is I open up a nonprofit museum, and the concept of the nonprofit museum is going to be the nonprofit museum along with the children Art to Life, which is for a nonprofit for the kids right there. So I'm combining those entities together, but I want to take that and have global museums throughout the country, throughout the United States, and also globally. So therefore, everybody would have a way of progressing throughout the whole thing. So if you're an artist that's learning as a kid to understand I'm business minded and I'm also creative. So therefore, I say to you, why can't you be the next Tyler Perry, that you can own your own studio? Or if you're a dancer, why can't you own your own studio? Therefore, you can control the entity. But what happened to understand your power? So my thing is letting that creative understand the super mind, the superpower, because they have the superpower, which is business and creativity. So that's part of the legacy right there. So I know my end result, my end goal. I'm just working reversing backwards right there.
And I like the way you present it from the perspective that you want to bring the youth in early so that they start having that sense of connecting the dots. Absolutely. And building for a longer journey rather than doing just for, oh, there's a show, there's a thing, and then spend all the money, and then I forgot what I was trying to do, and then I have to start over again. So in some ways, what you're doing is helping them build generational wealth.
That's the whole purpose. It's for each artist to build their own individual growth right there. Because this is what I look at right here. Okay, I'm gonna give you like a little scenario. The thing about it, when you're in high school and you're at home, you have this freedom, this big freedom, whereas like you're able to create because you're not worried about any bills or anything like that. So you're able to create on a normal basis right there. So therefore, a lot of times once you get out the home, you have all these different responsibilities. You don't have the freedom to flourish in your true creativity. So that's why you have a lot of nonprofits that will give out grants. Now, this thing right there is beautiful to get the grants, but this is my philosophy. An artist getting grants sometimes can be like somebody winning the lottery and going broke within 5 years. Why? Because they don't have a system to systematize how they're going to operate the money. And what happened, a lot of times, a lot of us artists, we get the grants, but we don't have the business knowledge. And that right there, that's my problem right there. So my thing is that I think that they should get not only the grant money, but also the business knowledge. But guess what? A lot of people don't understand the creator's mindset of what they need to go through. Yeah. And since I went through all those different steps and studied for years to really hone in a system that can basically help to change their life to be more of an artistic business person, I just know that I have the answer because I'm living in my glory right now. So I'm very happy about it.
So I'm going to have to ask, because you didn't start with that vision. Yes. So therefore, what did you have to let go of in order to sustain your vision? Because I'm sure there must have been hurdles.
Oh, hurdles every which way that you can go right there. The biggest obstacle that I had to overcome was simply myself. That means my visions and what I had, that was a system that was not working. You see what I'm saying? See, what happened is, like, the beautiful thing I love about system, because I can name a system to you that's a multi-billion-dollar system that's been along for a lot of years. And most of the people that work in this system are like teenagers or senior citizens. And it's McDonald's. McDonald's have a system that's been working across for years and years. This global system that they have. So my philosophy is similar, like the same type of thing, to have a system that creatives, all types of creatives, can come about for themselves right there. But understanding that the mistakes and the things that I went through and all the hurdles I have to overcome, of understanding I have to remove myself to change, to recondition my mindset, my mind frame, to be able to accept the new information. Because a lot of times we don't want to accept it, and being courageous enough to understand, like, you know what, being business minded, as far as being a creative, it can be very scary because it's very uncomfortable. It's that other side that makes you have that freedom. And the thing about it, I want to give back the power to the creatives so they can have that absolute freedom.
There's so many ideas popping in my mind right now. And what I've noticed is most of what you're talked about in terms of letting go of something had to do with you, your way of seeing things, and maybe some self-sabotaging kind of behaviors. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So if you remove those,
can
you give us some example of hurdles that creatives find themselves struggling with?
Yes, struggling with, I would say it can be the mentality. I keep going back to the mentality because anything that you go through, the first thing to start with is mindset, is mind frame, is mentality. And the thing about it is that sometimes sometimes a creator can think like, wow, if I have to do the business along with the actual creativity, my mind's gonna feel like an explosion. It's going to explode in 5 different directions. So it can be very, very scary, and that could be the truth right there, So if you look in history, business has taken advantage of artists for so many years. You go back to the music industry, it's been incredible how much they have taken right there. And the thing about it is that a creator has to understand that a creative is emotional, right? It's a sensitivity that they have to the world to be able to regurgitate, to create these masterpieces, no matter what you do. It could be dance, acting, singing, screenwriting. It doesn't matter what it is. So therefore, it's that sensitivity that the creative have. So that's a superpower. We have to understand the power of our superpower right there, So for example, a creator will look at the world much differently. So as a painter, and somebody say, you know what, I want you to do my portrait. Now what happened, when I look at a person, I have to look at everything they've been through, the lines in their face, all the different years, all the different struggles, all the beautiful things inside their face to bring it out. So my viewpoint as a creative to look at the world is different than a person who's not a creative, because they see just a regular thing right there. You know what I'm saying? So that right there is very, very powerful. So it's very important for that creator to understand that's a part of this superpower. And sometimes most of our greatest artists have a greater sensitivity. You look at the Basquiat, you look at my favorite R&B singer of all time, Marvin Gaye. You look at all these different people that had this sensitivity to be these incredible, great artists, or Richard Pryor, whatever. And then now you have to understand what business like the opposite. So business is non-emotional, it's rational, it's ROI, it's bottom line numbers. So it's more or less almost like, say, in a box, whereas like creativity is outside the box right there. So the thing that a creator have to think about, you know what, I have to understand there's two parts of my brain, and one part of my brain is so the creativity, love that, do everything you want to do with that, but try to balance. I think the power is try to balance with the business mind right there, and understand that business is more stricter. That business is going to be inside that box. That business is going to be about those numbers. So when I say about predictability and profitability, it's like, because it's a math game. You have to sell a number of different pieces at a number price right there. You need a number of types of customers. So it's like the way that you'll market everything like that, going to the level right there. But to really understand, I think this creators just that struggle. It's like sometimes they don't want to do it. I want to put through that time. So
it's the side that is the creative side that is so very impulsive, so very in the moment. So I am doing this and I'm living through it, and tomorrow will come, and that's the business side where tomorrow's here. Tomorrow's already here. Let's do something about it.
Tomorrow's in this moment. So I give everybody a little tidbit of my program. So for example, the first part, when we do the distinguishment, or say distinguish, is distinguishing your mind frame from the business to the creative. So I have an exercise. So I say, you know, for example, I take a creative. So you know what? I said, how much time do you have to create in your day? You see, you know what? I got 3 hours a day that I create. I said, okay, we're going to take 2 hours. I'm saying you got 2 hours. So what I want you to do for that hour and a half, I want you to be free, create, go outside the box, have as much fun as you like. What I want you to do also, I want you to take that 30 minutes and only do business. Don't do anything except for business. So for example, if you're setting up your website, if you set up your business structure, you set up your business foundation to be able to get funding from the banks, to use other people's money to do your vision, I want you to work on that part. So what's going to happen is that you're going to start to build up the other muscle and understand it's only business. Then I say to her, I say, if you paint, say, in your living room, go into another location in your house strictly for business. When you go sit down at that table, in your kitchen table, it's only about business. Everything that propel your business forward. Now, if you practice that for a certain amount of time, it becomes a habit, and I guarantee your business will flourish more, because now you're going to think both business and creative, and that gap is going to decrease. And once you start to balance it, you start to become somebody like a Jay-Z billionaire, or Kanye West billionaire, or Rihanna who become a billionaire, or Tyler Perry a billionaire. You understand like that?
Yeah, you have a lot of examples, and I'm gonna say it's great nowadays, because you look at those people, and the example you cited, those are people that we know didn't start doing everything well and having thousands of people around them. They didn't come from money that explained what they had. They had to make it happen. So from that perspective, I think those are a great example, especially for youth. Actually, it's for youth and adults, because youth is just, I see you do the dancing, I see you do the singing, and I'm like, yeah, I can do this. But I see everything that comes behind, and I'm thinking, I want some of that. So it's a different conversation. Definitely.
Absolutely.
In your perspective, what makes some people have the exact same information and choose not to put it into practice?
FEAR. False evidence appearing real. But the beautiful thing is I see it has, how about institutional barriers? Yes. But the beautiful thing about that is that it's like once that creative understand the power that they have, because they have two parts, you know. And I give you another a couple of examples. You got Steve Jobs, you got Elon Musk. These are business people with creativity. So they're using creativity, and see, that shows you the power that we have right there. You understand right there? So we have the power. So sometimes it can be fear from ourselves. Sometimes it can be like the person that said institutional barriers right there, or institutions or other people. So therefore you have to go deeper inside yourself, because you have to look at yourself. You have to look into the mirror at yourself, look at the person in the mirror and see your vision and make it come to life. Because it's like being fearless. That's a beautiful thing about being a creative, because we can be fearless to pursue and do whatever we want to do, and to have that creative talent and also have that vision. So we have the ingredients. We have the ingredients to make it happen. We just have to realize the power that we have. And then we have the power, and then also to think more business mind, to put into a system, or to have a system to scale it, to make it flourish, to really make it come to life right there.
And I think what I like about what you're presenting, it's this sense where for a lot of artists, they are made to feel you can only be one thing. You can't be a business person as well as an artist. And that has been ingrained in so many different, I would say, generations. Absolutely. That it's almost a given. I don't even try because I think I can't. So I'm going to find myself a manager. And I know nothing about the business, but that person is maybe robbing me blind, and I have no idea.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
100%. It's about holding yourself accountable. It's all about, say, for example, I had a meeting with one of my mentors, and it's like one thing that we do is like we do sales, right? Or sales, or anything that you may do. And the thing that it teaches us is to learn whatever you're going to have a person come in and to do. Now, it's all about us doing everything ourselves. It's all about us delegating responsibilities, but understanding what to do. One thing I like about Tyler Perry so much is that Tyler Perry did everything from doing those traveling plays for so many years, that he understood everything what to do. So therefore, if he hire a person for a position, he knows if they BSing them because he's done the work. So therefore, he can say, okay, you do this right here. So what happened, I think with creators, we have to take ourselves outside of that creativity, be able to assess the other different things that we have. Then at the end of the game, we're going to have the whole thing ourselves and to understand it or to learn it. One thing I have to do is like, whatever I don't know, I go to a free university, a YouTube university, or get a mentor. I find out getting a mentor, to invest in a mentor, is so incredibly important, because it saves time. You get to the result. You see what I'm saying? And the thing about it, if I did not get a mentor, I'm sure I would not be talking to you right at this moment.
And I have to say, what I'm hearing you talk, it's also the realization, because we had that comment about the institutions. A creative that goes to school, whatever school or university, they're going to teach him how to own his art, but they're not going to teach him how to live from his heart. And if there are some courses, chances are those courses are like far in between, and it's just like the boring stuff. Get my whatever grade in, and that's it. So I haven't changed my habits. I haven't changed my mindset in the way that I look at things and the way I do things. So it makes total sense.
Yes.
On a different note, what would be your top 3 things to do for greater self-alignment as an artist?
The top 3 things I would do for greater alliance. Let me see.
Alignment, not alliance.
What? Say again?
Greater self-alignment. So how do you organize yourself, those 3 things as a creative, to be aligned with what you're trying to accomplish?
Well, you know what? It's actually, I would call it the method out of the 3 Ds. I would definitely still say, I'm not saying it because it's my program. I would say distinguish. And the reason I say this, because that has propelled me. I would say make a distinguish between your creative and your business mind. Because once you make that assessment, you're able to go to the next level, which is determining, right? And determining, you're deciding your goal, what you want to do right there, which is your vision, and then deployment of doing the actual activities. So I think once you understand yourself, you look inside yourself, I think once you start to align that system within yourself, then I think you can really go to the moons and the stars right there, because you're going to think business at the same time.
So what I'm hearing you say is you have to understand your why. Why is it that you want it for yourself? And how bad do you want it?
Yes.
And what would be those steps
Yes.
that you're going to build into it so
Absolutely.
that it gets you where you want to go. So
Absolutely.
it's all of this. Identify, take the time to establish the path, because
Yes.
if you don't know the path and you're waiting for something to show up, guess what?
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
might be in the wrong room most
Absolutely.
of your time and still
Absolutely.
wonder how come.
Absolutely. 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 You know, I want to go back to the art schools, and
Yes.
I just want to tell you like a little story. It was years ago before I got a mentor when I was doing very well with my art and everything like that. And I remember one of my clients was a student at an art school, and she was saying that they don't teach us art. I'm saying they don't teach us about business. And
Mhm.
I was doing my business very well because I had my mobile gallery, and I was moving along very well. And she was like, you know what, you should actually teach. You know, she mentioned that. I never thought about it. You should
Mhm.
create a program or something to teach people about business with art. And I always had it in the back of my mind because all these art school, you graduate, but it's like you're taught to go and say, you know what, I'm an artist. The first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to a gallery and let them get 50% or 45% or whatever percentage they may have of my artwork. Then therefore it's like I'm relying on them so much. And that's why if you notice in my program, I say get the middle school students before they get to college. So
Mhm.
therefore they can have the mind frame. Get all the necessary information you need to have. I'm not saying don't go to art school, everything you need to have, but understand that why can't you own a gallery? I believe in ownership, equity. Okay.
Mhm. And you pretty much jumped into my other question, which was, what would be three nuggets that you give to any artists or creatives that is trying to build more financial stability in their artistic journey? Because I would say that that's one of the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
It's one day you're popular and demand comes in so
Yeah.
intensely,
Yeah.
and you barely have time to even do what is asked of you, and then everything slows down and it's like, okay, so what's next?
Right.
So
Right.
what
Right.
would be your nuggets? What
One thing,
has worked for you?
yeah, one thing is getting a mentor. One thing is getting a mentor.
Okay.
I think getting a mentor,
And a business mentor.
a business, yes, very carefully, a business mentor with some kind of program that can take you to the next level right there.
Okay.
Also, the one thing you do immediately is start studying goal setting, and to start studying, go to YouTube and start studying things that related to business, like anything about goals, goal setting, and another thing about uh, actually financial literacy. That's another thing. You start to understand about credit and everything like that, personal credit to business credit, but study those things, like get a business mentor so they can help to guide you along the line right there. And sometimes, you know what happens? Sometimes we don't know what to do. You understand what I'm saying? Because the marketplace is so noisy that it has so many different things like that. Because something that could be good for one person with business may not be a good thing for that creative who wants to have business right there. So that's why I
Mhm.
think it's so. Because I was literally looking for avenues. I say, can I?
Yeah.
Okay, once I have my mentor, I was like, can I find something that's relatable to art? You know, I seen a couple of programs, but the programs that I saw, I actually took the programs, but I was like, I still want more business minded because
Yeah.
it's not about making the money. We can make the money, but what do you do with the money? You know, are you even set up to have the money? Are you even paying taxes? Are you an LLC? Are you an S corp? How are you going to build your generational wealth? And the whole
Yeah.
concept is really to position you to build your generational wealth for not just yourself, for your family
Mhm.
also.
Mhm. Yeah. And to me that's impressive, because I know too many artists who have spent their life living off their passion,
Yes,
but living in a, how could I say, I wouldn't say very comfortable position, always unstable, because you're only as good as your next gig. And we need to remove that from
yeah,
our perspective,
yeah,
and think about, how do I create,
yes,
as you say, the path, so that I not only do I create my opportunities, but I have a vision of what I'm trying to where I'm trying to go, so that someone else doesn't take me down all kinds of back ways and sideways, and then you realize that's not what I wanted, because a lot of them end up doing things they don't want to, just so that the money can come in. And once you have kids, once you have a family, it's no longer the same thing.
Absolutely.
I can eat tuna sandwiches every day if need be, but once you have kids, you can't just do that.
Absolutely. 100% true. 1000% true. Absolutely. Yes.
So what would be one key message you want to leave with with our listeners, be it creative or not?
One message is to understand your enormous superpower that you have that can actually change the world and create a legacy for people that you love around you. To really understand your power. And I call it superpower is the balancing of your creative and your business mind, which I call a business creative. And to really understand that right there. Once you start to understand the power that you have and you can take back the power, then I think once you understand that right there, I think you would really go far with your career and just flourish into what you need to flourish into.
I find I like what you said, and I think too many of us find this one thing that we seem to be good at, and then we throw ourselves into it, but not thinking as, okay, will that be what I want to do for a longer period? Will that evolve into something else? Or even what if 5 years from now? And I think I see you from a perspective of being multidisciplinary artist. So which means there's so many different venues that you've chose to take on as an artist. Doesn't mean I do everything at the same time. But it's recognizing, as you say, that talent within, and what are the different ways that I can exercise that talent and get a result. So let's just say you're talking about the various businesses that you've created, but let's just say somebody calls you today and they want you to be an art critic, and it's going to be a regular job. You still have to assess, is this something I see for myself? Maybe financially it's good, money comes in, but depending on what it is and what it requires off of me, will it allow me to do those other things I like to do? Right.
Well, the beautiful thing about the world is always going to have distractions. It's the people who stay on point what they want to have. That's why it goes back to determining or deciding your goal or your vision and reverse engineering from your North Star goal. Because now you ask yourself the question, is this on the path of where I want to go? Now, the thing about it, so what happened, you're going to create your destiny by having a profitable business, having a predictable business within a system. So that's the key ingredient right there. So therefore, you have that consistent income flowing in. And then now you try to scale that, but you stay on the path. You be able to financially support yourself to stay on your path where you want to go. So you can just kind of be like kind of tunnel vision to get to your goal right there, because everything is always going to happen. Life is going to happen all the time.
And I love it, the way you say life is going to happen all the time, because we as humans like to think that we're controlling our future, controlling our path. But guess what? There's, as you say, a lot of distraction out there, but also there's this sense where certain things have already been decided. And this is where, if I'm working out of my, as you say, path, then it's going to prevent me from accomplishing what I'm meant to accomplish. So to me, there's the universe has how could I explain? It has a direction it wants to take you, but you also have to be on that path. to get there. Because if
Right.
you like way off because okay, I think I need to go to business school first in order to understand blah blah blah.
Right.
Maybe you'll never finish business school because it's too far away from that creative impulse that I'm trying to bring forward.
Yes.
So it's always going to be those challenges. And I would say out of all the groups that I have had to work with, the creative could be the ones that are doing the most unexpected, but then at the same time, the one who do get to that point are far outweighed by the other ones who gave up on their dream because it was just too hard. Because there's not that, while there's a lot of possibility, with a lot of possibility comes the distractions.
Yes.
So that's that anyway. So to me, that's a huge challenge.
Yes.
So thank you very much for this conversation. But I have a last question for you.
Of course, absolutely.
How can people get in contact with you or hear about your future activities? Because I know you do a lot more than just the business. You are in some ways, how could I say, I'm not going to say I stalked you because I didn't really stalk you. But when I was looking at your information, it's just like, wow, so many different things, still artistic, but not the what we might have said, oh, I know exactly where to find him. So let me know.
Yes. I would definitely say at the moment, I'm definitely more business right now because I really have launched my university. So that's really keeping me busy right there. And it's called businesscreativesuniversity.com. And when you go there, when you go to businesscreatives.com, businesscreativeuniversity.com, that will give you the introduction, some free different tips and everything like that as far as an online university. If you know more business, you can go to LaRonz Murray, LLC.com for a lot of business needs right there. And if you want to see my artwork, you go to LaRonzMurrayArtist.com for all my artwork. And also got a t-shirt line. I got a lot of different things like that. And if you just Google me on social media, you see I appear a lot of different other places. I do exhibitions, different shows. I've been in a lot of different magazines. Matter of fact, as far as with the modeling work, I work with a lady by the name of Dr. Deborah Willis. She's an NYU professor, and I was in this book called Posing Beauty, and it's been a traveling exhibition since 2009. And I've been so blessed to be a premier. My image has been in the book and also in the actual touring gallery around the world. That's been shown right there and got a lot of press. In that book, you have everybody from Obama, Denzel Washington. It's from like the 1890s all the way up to like the 2000s right there. So I'm very privileged to be in that book right there. So that's always traveling around right there. And basically, get in contact with me through my websites, and you can always get in contact with me and you can see different things that's going on. And we'll post things that's going on also at the same time. But my mission right now is really just letting creators understand that there's another pathway to really get business minded. And I think that we are living in the age of the billionaire. And I think that we're at the forefront of sparking the mind of the next generation of billionaires. And I just want to wish everybody just the most blessings and good luck in everything they're doing. And I really want the artists to really flourish, to do what they got to do.
So I'm going to ask you.
Yes.
I said that was going to be the last question, but there's another question that is in my mind.
Yes.
What are you the most thankful for right now?
Life. Because when I say life is the first thing, then I can say my kids, but life is the very first thing right there. Life, and to be able to pursue what I want to pursue and having the opportunity to create the legacy. But it's definitely life.
Thank you. It has been a pleasure.
Yes, absolutely. Very good. So happy to be here. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Ottawa's Black Business Alliance, a place where you can learn to be your own person and build the future you want for yourself. Our mission is to help young entrepreneurs achieve their business goals through the best coaching, managing, consulting, and a slew of other services. Together, we can become a pillar in the Afro-Canadian community. Don't hesitate to contact us through our website at www.oba.ca, and remember that building tomorrow starts today. OBA Consulting. Take hold of your future.